opinions on topical issues. Have your say on Perspectives. Perspectives was Twin Alabi at 9 a.m. Mondays to Fridays on Invicta 98.9 FM. Perspectives. All sides, all views, all individuals are welcome.
The time is 9 o'clock.
Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. This morning we're looking at coronavirus and of course where we are with it in the state, in Nigeria and globally. And sharing thoughts with us this morning, Dr. Ezinna Arogu, a medical officer, Baraudiko Teaching Hospital, my guest by phone this morning. We do know that the world is up on all its toes to get a cure for this this virus. And of course America is taking the lead, and with what Donald Trump, President of America, is saying, he wants the drug to be out, he wants the vaccine to be out before the elections in November in America. And we do know that Russia had come with its own cure for COVID-19. Britain is on, France is also on, and the rest of the world, all taking a cue to see that we get a vaccine for the cure of coronavirus. But as it is, we are still with this pandemic. It's not gone yet. It has not fizzled out. And so we must all do what we have to do to keep ourselves safe. Now, Dr. Ezinna Arogu, in Kaduna State, what are the updates for us? What are the things to know about coronavirus in Kaduna State? I'll be looking at it nationally and globally too. Hello, doctor. Hello, doctor.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, did you get me on my introduction?
No, I didn't, sir.
Oh, please, we're on now.
Okay.
I'll take it all over again.
Alright.
Okay, I'll try to get across to Dr. Ezinna Arogu there. But again, we are on the line now. Doctor, you're here with me? Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Okay, we're on now, doctor. We're on.
Okay. So, good morning.
Just before that. Okay. Hello. Okay, doctor. Just hold on the line. Just stay. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay, doctor. I was just giving to my listener, what is happening the world over about COVID-19. I'm saying that the world is all up on its toes to get a cure for this disease, so to say. America, Russia, and of course we do know that Russia has come up with its own version of cure for coronavirus. We know France is top on the list too. We also know that Great Britain is also doing all it can. And of course, looking at America, President Donald Trump wants this vaccine to be out before the November elections. And we also do know that it is still ravaging all over the world. But back home in Nigeria, the situation what we have in Kaduna State, and of course we'll be talking nationally too. Well, let me quickly bring to attention or notice of our listeners that this program is sponsored by the Kaduna State Ministry of Health, and we do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so, Dr. Ezinna, your thoughts on where the situation in Kaduna State, an update.
All right, thank you very much, and good morning, listeners. So far, of course, we have started accepting COVID as something that has come to stay and is with us for now, as far as we're concerned. And we can, of course, over this period, we've known how it's been we've been progressing, so to say, how the disease has progressed, got efforts at various fronts, and how it's been tried to be contained. Globally, we know as at yesterday, we've had about 430,000 cases. So, sorry, in Nigeria, 430,712 samples tested. Confirmed cases were 55,632, and active cases 10,000 currently. Okay, about 1,007 people have died in the country as a whole. Coming down to Kaduna State, we have confirmed so far as at yesterday 2,226 cases, out of which 2,111 have been discharged, and then 83 on active are currently being managed for the disease. Of these numbers, 32 have unfortunately passed on as a complication of coronavirus disease in Kaduna State. Now, as we know, of course, I don't want to go through the lockdown phase, how all those things started, but we know that from the lockdown and practical shutdown of the state has gradually been opened. We're opening the states based on recommendations and the progress of adherence to protocols and an observation of how the disease has progressed. So in Kaduna State, if I may say, for those that follow the updates, we know that even as of yesterday, there's been a somewhat decline in the number of positive cases. Well, there could be very many reasons alluded to that, but to the best of our knowledge, nationally even, we know that cases have somewhat declined. So for Kaduna, yes, there's some progress being made, a lot of progress being made. However, we know that the disease is still with us, and a lot of work still needs to be done.
Yeah, taking a cue from that a lot of work still needs to be done. But again, looking around, Doctor, and looking around, what we see tells, would show greatly that we all have let off our guards, in keeping ourselves safe. The markets are opened now, and of course, face masking and all the protocols that have been put in place are not being observed. Are you worried too that, we seem to think that coronavirus is not with us, and the myth surrounding this disease?
Yes, if I tell you I'm not worried, I'll be lying. Now, it's come to a state where I think people have, at the initial stage, there was this panic and this, panic, even beyond a little of fear about coronavirus disease, the misunderstanding of the disease being a new disease, what it does to individuals. Initially, people thought it was a death sentence. And now, of course, as a new disease, it was studied and more evidence and more findings were being made. And of course, people were updated on all those things, on the need of screening, how to prevent, and those that are positive, how it could be managed, especially for the asymptomatic cases. Now, because people, again, because of the usual misconception around, people greatly have failed to understand that this disease, as I'm speaking to you, some still feel that there is nothing like coronavirus disease. So because of this kind of thought pattern, people who have an issue had gross disregard to advices and protocols have also maintained on that path. There is no saying that awareness has not been created. Enough awareness has been created rather. Yeah, and that's why almost everybody has heard about coronavirus disease. Everybody wants to do. Everybody knows about face masks. Everybody knows about social distancing. But even at that, people still want to feel this is not, the mentality, our mentality over here that this is not real, and if it comes, it's just like a mild thing. Some incidentally have it mild, but unfortunately, some also have paid the supreme price for it. So looking at that, and probably the recovery of people that have become infected, some have looked at it and felt incidentally this is not as they thought it was, and then decided to let down guards. And because some people have perpetually not adhered to these protocols and have not become infected, they have seemed to come to believe on their own that no, this is not true. But again, against that thought, we know that people are still being infected, people are still dying, and that is why it's a worry. Of course, the government had to open up the states. They had to open up town, open up markets, open up businesses, because for economic reasons, people had to survive. Not just Kaduna State government, the country, the whole world at large. You know, the world had to be opened up. People had to go back to the new normal now, their normal lifestyles, normal activities, albeit adjusted to carry on for prevention and control of coronavirus disease. So because of these things, and you know, the activity of human life, whether economic and all other activity, we have a whole lot of social activities. Our interaction is quite social, and it's been a little difficult for people to adjust to the new normal on these social interactions. People will say wear face masks. I went around yesterday, a lot of people are not wearing face masks. People that have face masks are putting it on the jaw, and you know, because people still feel last they'll say something must kill a man, or you know, and then some people still have that aversion about the whole thing about coronavirus disease. The markets have to be opened, worship centers have to be opened, people have to do their activities, but the coronavirus is still there. There is no we've not had any cure yet. Okay, yes, a lot of progress, as you said, are being made on vaccines and all that, but people, your system helps you recover. So because people now see that something, they are superhumans. Unfortunately, when you talk of risky lifestyle, not just for coronavirus, for other disease and infections, HIV, high blood pressure, alcoholic complications and all that, some people think they are superhumans and just live their lives the way they want to, without having a positive health-seeking attitude. So that health-seeking attitude the positive health-seeking attitude that is not sufficient, so to say, or that we don't practice enough in this part of the world, has also contributed to the negligence and gross disregard to the protocols. And honestly, Tony, I fear and pray and hope that it doesn't boomerang, that it doesn't take us back or beyond where we actually started from.
Oh, Doctor, I have to ask you this. I do that, with my guests on this particular topic, and that's talking about the continent Africa, and of course the black race too. And what has happened to us? Would it be about environment? Would it be about luck? Would it be about genes, of the black man? That has we've recorded deaths. It's all over the place. The coronavirus is here with us. But when we look at advanced countries and that have all the technologies, and we see how this disease is ravaging, and taking people, away. And then we look at black communities. For example, America is taking away a lot of black people. When you compare, but in the African continent, what has just helped the situation here?
Okay. Well, for now, again, as we keep reiterating, it's a new virus. A lot of research is being done. A lot of hypotheses being postulated out there. And for now, we may not categorically say it's a race thing. The virus, being, of course, is prone to a lot of things, prone to a lot of changes, a lot of mutation, a lot of adaptations in various environments, ranging from one person to the other. We've seen people that have this background, maybe illness, maybe hypertension, diabetes, and they both got coronavirus infection. And then maybe one person did very well, the other person did very well. There are a lot of reasons, a lot of disease progression in human beings have a lot of things that makes it either worse or makes it mild. However, part of the hypothesis I've also looked at Africa, not just Africa and some other Asian countries. We've had some immunizations in the past, BCG, and all those immunizations that we've had as children, childhood immunizations. Some postulations have actually looked at the parts of the world that have had these things. Could you have preferred some degree of immunity to people of those extracts? And that is why, if you look at, the blacks in America are also blacks, of course, black race, but again, majority there might not have had those childhood immunizations because the diseases had been eradicated in such climes. Okay, but in this part of the world, we've had all this immunization program. Everybody has a lab BCG because we're trying to protect against tuberculosis and other killer diseases as children. So there's some strong postulation in that regard that probably, very probably, that might have added a lot of advantage to us, if I might use the word advantage in that regard. Okay, and again, like I said, it's the new virus mutations and changes and all that things which are still being studied. All right, so of course we're not throwing away the fact that documentation and reportage in this part of the world is not as effective or efficient as in developed climes, but in all sense of intent and purpose, I also think, yes, it seems to have been a little mild on our side as compared to European and Western countries. But this postulation is what a lot have actually talked about, that probably the childhood immunizations have given us the edge in this regard.
Let's look at treatment. Yeah, we do know about what orthodox medicine is saying about treatment of coronavirus, where isolation, and we now have home isolation, we now have isolation at the facilities and all of that. But we are cultural people. We come from a background where herbs, seem to have worked for us. So treatment of coronavirus too, and because of the traditional and cultural people that we are, people are coming in with do what we do in times of old for treatments like this, especially when this disease is coming out with symptoms of malaria, fever, and all of that we know. The risk of all of this.
Well, I'm not a herbalist, but we all know that even a lot of the orthodox medicines are actually extracts from most of these before now herbal concoctions or extracts, as the case may be. But getting drugs for treatments, it doesn't just stop at treating symptoms. That is why in orthodox medicine or orthodox pharmacology, these drugs are subjected to a lot of phases of research, screening, trials. Trials will include, what does it really treat? Is it just treating symptoms? Is it actually treating, taking care of the virus? How is it taking care of the virus or whatever organism that is responsible for an ailment? Is it stopping its progression? Is it outrightly killing the organism? Or is it stopping the ability of the organism to attach itself to the human system to be able to express its disease and ability? Not just that, it also goes about looking at the effects, other effects of the drug. When this drug is taken, how does it affect Mr. A, Mr. B? How does it affect the male? How does it affect the female? How does it affect the child and adult? Not just the immediate effects, even the effects for later life. For females, also the effect that may affect their children, not just at childhood, even when they grow up, is it expressed in breast milk and all that. So all these things are scientific components of assessments of any product that should be produced and certified fit. That's why a lot of bodies will have to go through them and say, yes, this is fit for this person, this does this work at these dose, and these are the side effects that will manage this way, and this you should use this at this stage, and then classifications of those drugs. However, for the herbal proponents, well, if they can be subjected to research, of course they are all welcome. A lot of us also think about concoctions as kids, with the and all that, our parents. Of course, that's what they were used to. But people that have had some other complications later in life, you are not able to trace back and say, okay, this is actually what caused it. So in the part of treatment for diseases like COVID, that's what scientific evidence is needed. But for the herbal component, of course, I may not be able to vouch for them because I don't know what the drugs actually contain. When somebody tells you one drug will treat you of hypertension, treat you of uterine fibroid, treat you of diabetes, we get to wonder what proponents, what's the composition of that particular drug? Is it one big one pharmaceutical industry on its own being able to express various various potencies and activities at various stages. So that is the thing about the herbal medications. There is no, of course, we know that to some extent, yes, they work, but they have to be proven. They have to be scientifically subjected to review. And then once, of course, these things are found to work, I mean, everybody, it should be used. And the good part about some of them, if I might say good part, are usually basic things that people eat. Some herbs that we eat, some spices that ordinarily people take in food and all that. However, sometimes what the process of extractions and things that be added to it, well, as I said, I'm not a herbalist, I don't know how they extract or process most of those drugs. But if there is anything on ground, it's a welcome thing. If they are subjected to research and subjected to approval by the bodies that be, and once they are certified fit, of course, not just locally, internationally, locally, or as the case may be, there is an international assessment. Once they are certified fit for consumption and said yes, proven to do whatever it is claimed to do, well, it's a welcome thing. So I think yes, while they try also the research on those sites, there should be a lot of efforts trying to make sure that these things are checked, and if we can get extracts from them that can bring about cure or even prevention, as the case may be, it will be very welcome development for our country.
Are you also worried, doctor, about those that will just come and say, when I saw the symptoms of COVID-19, this were the drugs, are used, and today I'm just as free as I should be from COVID-19? And some of these instructions are coming from medical experts too, like you, who've tested these drugs and said this was what will give me cure. Are you worried about such coming out to us out here?
Yeah, why am I worried? For you to make a diagnosis of coronavirus or any other disease, of course, we have history, signs, symptoms, and again, laboratory investigations. For coronavirus disease, the gold standard for diagnosis is the test, the laboratory test. It actually mimics a lot of other illnesses, and in a lot of instances, as we know, it's asymptomatic. People don't have any symptoms. So before somebody can, assuredly, we have probable cases, we have suspected cases, of course, yes. People that we suspect because they have these symptoms and then they are subjected to test if it's confirmed. The people that go about taking drugs that they might just have taken the drugs for nothing, probably drug abuse. So when you come and tell somebody because you have these symptoms and that, if the person has not confirmed a case of coronavirus disease, then the drug would have been practically of most likely no use. Except for instance, when you have, of course, that will require clinical acumen, where you have high index of suspicion and inability to test. As well, of course, those are let's leave that for the medical environment. Okay, that people can now be started and treated as such. But to come out to the general public and say, hey, I have fever, I have sore throat, I have cough, and my sense of perception of smell has been lost, then we gotta start taking those drugs. I think it's wrong. It's drug abuse. Okay, so for now we are worried. Yes, and we also know that people actually do that, and it's wrong. Just as people waking up, you have a fever, you conclude you have typhoid fever. Okay, and then they're gonna start taking drugs for that. Again, that is also wrong. And people have abused antibiotics, abused various medications because of such thinking pattern. So yes, it's actually not appropriate to just tell people if you feel this and this, take especially for COVID virus disease, to say take these drugs and those drugs that have been used. Remember, those drugs are not actually for cure. We are treating, it's not like supportive treatment based on the signs and symptoms and preventing other complications that may arise. And of course, we think that try to boost immunity.
Okay, Doctor. Dr. Ezen, I'll have to go for a commercial break. I'll join you in a moment.
All right, sir.
This commercial break.
Are you serious? For real, are you serious?
Victor FM.
And welcome back. We're back with the program Perspectives, and this morning attention is on COVID-19 in Kaduna State and at national level, and of course looking at it globally. Dr. Ezen Arogu, medical officer with Barao Diko Teaching Hospital, our guest right now. Well, doctor, now that business is coming to normal, in the new normal that we are in, where all schools are about to be fully opened, and of course the markets are all open, all places of business are opened now. For schools, there has been an argument about getting our schools fully operational and opened now. The concerns here too would be about the socializing aspect of our young ones. That they're just let off guard. All that have been put in place to keep us safe from COVID-19. And looking at the old ones too, they've been told to stay at home, stay away from getting close to crowded places, all because of age and of course immunity not at optimal level and all of that. But for these children especially, they go do a lot of interaction. The bear hugs have not been taken out, the handshakes and all of that are still here. What are your concerns, especially when we want to get our schools really opened, because the argument is really on now on having our schools reopened?
Yeah, thank you very much. School resumption for me, areas of very high concern. Very high concern in the sense that, as you've said, as an adult, you can decide not to socialize, you can decide to keep 2 meters away from the next person. But for kids, we're looking at kids who socialization is an integral part of their development. Can we really take that away from them? How many teachers, how many care providers are you going to have in schools to keep these kids from getting to play, getting to interact, getting to learn from one another? It's actually a big challenge. It goes beyond the sanitize your hands, wear face masks, wear face shields. I'm telling you, these kids are going to try test each other's face masks, test each other's face shields.